Well, welcome back, Green Spring. We have now in the Anastassio, and she's with the Certified Home Health System. She's here to talk to us about home health and what's going on. And so, welcome, Ann.
Thank you.
And I appreciate you coming.
Glad to be here.
Well, tell us what you want to tell us about home health.
Oh, let's see. Home health is thriving. It's growing. We provide a lot of personal care for, well, the main type of folks that we see is patients, residents who come from the hospital, especially after surgeries, joint replacements, cardiac surgeries.
Well, I thought we went from the hospital to Garden Ridge.
Sometimes. There are different levels of cares depending on the condition of the resident when they come back. So Garden Ridge is more of like an interim process if someone needs a little bit more help than what we can provide. So Certified Home Health, which is covered by Medicare, and it's covered 100% by Medicare, has certain stipulations that we have to follow. And we're there, it's an intermittent service. So my staff, which is nurses, physical therapists, occupational therapists, speech therapists, and certified home health aides, can provide the intermittent service.
Now you say it's 100% covered, but that's for a period of time, isn't it?
Correct. It's not a long-term
20
care.
days?
It really depends on the needs of the residents. So we have some residents who will stay with us we have a few who will stay for 6 months, a year, depending on what type of services that they require.
And still covered by Medicare, fully?
Yes.
Oh boy.
But there are certain guidelines we have to follow, so it's something that we work on individual cases as to what type of care we can provide. Most of the residents that we see in Certified Home Health are with us for maybe a month or two max, because they'll come to us. We'll say, for example, someone's had a knee replacement.
Okay.
They come to us. We provide nursing to go over their medications, their pain medications, maybe diet, a little bit of exercise. We'll talk about other conditions that they have that could impact their healing, such as diabetes, congestive heart failure, maybe they have rheumatoid arthritis, so we can help them through that process. Talk to them a little bit about nutrition also.
Now, these are things that are outside the knee replacement, though.
Yes, but because home care is holistic. We just don't look at that this person has had a joint replacement. We don't look at anything else, because everything that goes on in your life impacts your recovery. So you have to look at the whole picture.
And that's still covered by Medicare?
Absolutely, it is covered. So we'll have the nurses go in and look at that, especially medication reconciliation. A lot of residents are on a tremendous amount of medications. They might be confused if there's been a change, particularly if they followed a set routine for many, many years, and now there's a change to their medication. So we help them work that out. We help to communicate with the physician so that they can understand that.
Do you get a lot of people that come directly from the hospital, directly at home health, rather than go to Garden Ridge?
Most of our residents right now are coming from Garden Ridge.
Okay.
We've had some, if they've had a stroke or really bad congestive heart failure or pretty bad COPD, respiratory issues, they'll go there for a little rehab work. Then they come to us, and then we help to make them a little more independent in the home. And then our goal is that if they're not completely independent, we can then get them to outpatient rehab.
So if I had a sort of an outpatient knee, not replacement, but an operation, an arthroscopic operation, would I be eligible? I would be coming back to my apartment, but then would I be expected to go to home health for support? Or?
Not necessarily. This is something that's completely optional. It's something you can decide to have, and Medicare does have guidelines for us to follow. There has to be a skilled service, a skilled need, a need for having a nurse come in, or a need for a physical therapist to see you. They also have a homebound requirement, and homebound is a little bit different in a facility like Green Springs, because the whole community is your home.
Yeah.
So it has to be very difficult for you to get out of the house. If you're going down to the gym every day, you're not homebound. If you're going out to a doctor's office, but someone has to give you a ride there, you are considered homebound. Okay. So we look at that very closely when we see
So I couldn't eat in the dining room every night and still be homebound.
It's possible. So we look at each case individually. So it's not a very black and white. It's kind of gray. We really have to look at each case individually. But we work very closely with the residents, with the physicians involved in the case, because it is interdisciplinary. So we work with medical center, we work with Garden Ridge, and with our services and any outside physicians. So we also take referrals from the outside physicians, not just medical center here.
Are you connected in any way with Garden Ridge?
I work very closely with them because
Yeah.
they will make referrals for residents when they are going back to their apartment that they might need a little more help because maybe they've done the physical therapy in Garden Ridge, but now we might need to make adaptations in their apartments.
Okay.
And that's what we're looking at. What's going to keep them safe at home? We want to prevent falls, and a lot of times when they're coming home either from the hospital or for Garden Ridge, they're pretty weak and they might not pick their feet up as well and they might trip over a rug. We look at all those safety areas in their home to make sure that they're as safe as possible and give suggestions for different equipment too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think I've got it. I can go to you either directly from the hospital if I don't need to go to Garden Ridge, and I would have to go to Garden Ridge probably for 24-hour care, for complete nursing care. I would not be able to go to the apartment and without a 24-hour aid or something, health aids.
Right.
Really, I couldn't care for myself essentially.
There is also the other possibility that you could go to your apartment directly from the hospital and have 24 hours of home support. Now, a lot of folks get the home support and certified home health confused, and it is a little confusing.
Yeah, and the home support, then I would be able to have aides come in that are not covered by Medicare.
Correct. That would be a private
So those
pay.
are not private, okay.
Mhm. And if you would prefer to be in your own apartment, which a lot of folks really do, you're more comfortable there, that you would have home support come in to provide up to 24/7 care. And then certified home health would come in and provide the skilled needs, going over medications.
Oh.
Now, there is one service that if
So I can have both of you at the same
you
time?
could,
Okay.
yeah,
And
different
that makes sense.
different services available.
Yeah, because you're really looking at the health, you're providing nursing care. Home support doesn't provide any of that.
Home support will provide medication management.
Okay.
So they'll provide services that if a resident is not considered homebound or not deemed to have the Medicare benefits that we need, then they can go to home support for continued care.
But that is not covered by Medicare?
Correct,
Okay.
correct. So we're very tight on that because we want to make sure we save money.
Yeah.
We want to be very careful
Yeah.
about our spending and provide the best services that we can.
Absolutely, and I'm sure that everybody here, you can't say everybody. You can't say all, but most of us are covered by Medicare.
Correct.
And most of us have another secondary insurance. So most of us then can receive your care without worrying about having to pay for it or anything because it's going to be covered by Medicare.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now we do have the option, plus, well, let me go back. We also take Erickson Advantage insurance also, which is a great insurance that we've worked very
Yeah.
closely with that group.
That's our secondary insurance
Yes.
if we don't.
Yeah, which is,
Okay.
it's a great insurance. They
Yeah.
provide a lot of good services. So when we know that we're getting to the point that we can't continue care with someone in certified home health, we give you the warning, warning's a tough word, but just to let you know that we don't think Medicare will continue to pay for the services. You have the option of keeping us, but there's a possibility you may have to pay privately for it. So you have options. It's nothing is really set in stone. We're very flexible.
But you work hard to try to keep us under Medicare,
Yes.
providing, well, how would we put it, the informing Medicare of the situations that
Yes.
would be in our favor.
Right. We want to provide the best care, which
Right.
I really believe our staff does. I'm very proud of
I don't question it.
everyone we have on there. I think they're absolutely amazing. We want to make sure that we follow Medicare's rules and guidelines so that everyone gets paid, everyone gets the care that they need, and not more or not less of the care.
And that's very important because we don't know the Medicare guidelines. We may think we do, but
There's a
most
lot.
of us really don't know all the Medicare. We get this book, and that may have most of them in it, but
Yeah.
it's that thick.
Correct.
I haven't
correct.
read it yet.
Don't, no.
I read it. I read the first one I ever got when I was 65. That was a few years ago. So I read that carefully all the way through, but I haven't read one since.
No.
I do read usually what the changes are, but that's about it. And I suspect most people are like that. We don't.
I think most people, there's a lot to it, and reading all the legalese is a little difficult, so we can help to break it down as to particularly our services that are covered. And we're always welcome to talk to anyone who wants to call us about, hey, do you think I might be eligible for your services? And we work very closely with their physicians, with the residents to find out what their needs are. And as I said, we work across the whole.
Good. Do you have anything else to tell us?
We are now going to be starting an electronic medical record system.
Okay.
This was something that was mandated by the Affordable Care Act, that all medical records have to be on an EMR, or electronic medical records, I believe by 2020. So we will start our training with our staff early March. I think March 5th, 6th, and 7th, we'll be working with them in-house. And then in 2 weeks, when they go out to see their residents, which they will get letters, so they know, we will be coming out with laptops, working the documentation there. But we will still provide that personal service. So they won't be sitting like this the whole time. It is still the conversation with the
So
resident.
this is in addition to our medical system on
Yes.
the computers, a whole different thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, anything else?
No, I think if you have any questions, you can always give us a call. And our telephone number is 703-923-3123.
3123.
3123.
Okay.
And if you have a question about, am I eligible for home care services, we're happy to talk to you. We're helping.
And where are you located?
We're located in Residence Life down in Forest View.
In Forest View.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, thank you very
You're
much,
welcome.
Ann, for coming
Thank you.
aboard. I think I understand a little bit better what you provide and the Medicare aspect of it. That's good.
Great.
Well, thank you very much.